Hello, I'm back with another speed build, and this time I'm building an industrial penthouse in the city of San Myshuno. And this is not the style I usually build in, but I was excited to play around with the new Industrial Loft Kit, so I decided to just start building. And the lot that I'm building on is called the Fountain View Penthouse, and it is in the Arts Quarter District. So the lot traits on here are natural light and bracing breezes. So I thought it would be a perfect spot for a photographer sim, which is the career that came with the Moschino stuff pack. I also used a lot of the windows from that pack in this build as well because the frames are very thin and they come in these solid metallic shades which give it a very chic look. So I think they fit in very nicely in modern or industrial builds like this. I also place a glass roof on the building, and a lot of the industrial like converted buildings I was looking at on Pinterest had this, so I decided to incorporate that a little bit. The space beneath the glass roof actually ends up being a dining space, so I thought it was a nice social area to hang out in. And you'll see me putting down some grass on the lot, but I end up deleting it in the end just to fully embrace the industrial look I was going for, so please just ignore that. And also, the brick that I'm using here is from the Dine Out kit, and I really liked the grungy look it had to it. When I bring in the same bricks on the interior walls, it actually tied in very nicely with the furniture from the new kit, so I was quite happy with that. Before I finish furnishing and decorating the exterior of this build, I move on to the interior because I was just so excited to use some of the new items we got and especially the new couch. So inside I kept the floor plan pretty simple and I created this lofted space which I was originally going to have as one big giant room, but you'll see me change it up later. And the flooring that I use is from the Get Famous pack. I was so excited to use a new kit that I started with furnishing the living area when normally I start with the kitchen, and you'll see that the first thing I did was just plop down that couch, and I matched it with the eco lifestyle couch we got, and I liked how that created a sort of thrifty atmosphere because I didn't want this house to look too polished. And you'll see me doing alt placement a lot throughout this build, which is usually not something that I do because I have this thing where everything has to be lined up correctly, and that's not in real life, it's just The Sims. So my builds end up looking very, very symmetrical, which is fine. It's fine, but they can look like staged houses instead of being more, lived in. On this side of the wall here, I put in a red fireplace we got with the Eco Lifestyle pack, and I wanted to carry on that sort of warmer tones with the paintings I put up on the wall as well, you'll see later. And I end up changing the bigger painting with a base game one because I don't know why. I think I just didn't really like the black frame on it. It was too much of a stark contrast, I felt like, and it didn't really fit in with the warmer tones that I was trying to go for. So with the rest of the space in that wall area, I just end up cluttering up that side table, which we got with the Eco Lifestyle pack, and I did want to make this space have lots of interactive gameplay and be functional. So I did include a stereo, a bookcase, there's a TV, and I think I add in a guitar as well. That guitar is actually the one we got with the Outdoor Retreat game pack. And I used that one because it has a bunch of stickers on it, which I thought was quite thrifty and personalized, but you can definitely swap it out for a base game one if you want. And moving on into the kitchen, I use the base game counters even though I don't like any of the cabinets in the set. I just don't think they match very well with the swatches. And I don't think I'm alone here. Anyway, I kept the clutter to a minimum and I didn't include an oven here as well. I thought that was fine because since the sim is a photographer who lives in this big city, I thought the sim would spend a lot of time socializing and going out to eat. And actually, that reminds me, I want to do a restaurant build in the city because even though we have a lot of festivals and gameplay, which comes with a variety of food stalls, I think it's just a different gaming experience when your Sims can like arrange a date at a restaurant. And by different experience, I mean, kind of frustrating and buggy, but it makes for pretty screenshots. So, next, I move on to the photography area, and you can't really see it here, but I used the new archway we got with the kit, which is so gorgeous because it's got these open glass doors. But like, yeah, I kept the photography room pretty simple, and I think I only used the items from the Moschino stuff pack, except the curtains that came out with the dine out. In the dining room, I used the new table and bar stools we got with the kit, which I think would also actually look quite nice in like a restaurant with similar vibes. Um, the wood swatches match beautifully with the tables we got in the dine out pack. So next, I just move on to the entryway, which I just clutter up the space a little bit with the shelving unit we got in the eco lifestyle. And then I move on to the upstairs. And I ended up with this long corridor landing area. And I do also change up the lights because I thought they looked too big now that the spaces were quite small. And the reason why I divided up the space was because I have a lot of trouble furnishing big spaces, so it's just easier when each space is like compartmentalized into separate functions. So there's more structure in how I can lay it out. So in the end, we end up with this bedroom you see me furnishing here, a study space in the corner, and a half bath. And of course, I used the new bed in the kit. And I debated on what swatch to use, but ended up going with the yellow one in the end because I don't think we get a lot of nice yellow swatches in the Sims game, but this one I really liked. And I mismatched the side tables here from one from the new kit and one from base game because I like how it creates this sort of eclectic, again, thrifty vibe, and it wasn't too matchy matchy with all the other furnitures I end up using from the same kit. And I think it makes the room look, less staged. Like if I used the furniture over and over again from the new kit, I think it would kind of look like the sim just walked into a furniture store and said, like, yep, I'll take that room. So in the office area, I just put down a lot of boxes of paper to clutter up the space and also placed down that base game bookshelf in the darker swatch. I really wish I had an office like this with like a big corner window where there is a nice view. I think that would be my dream come true. And that laptop I placed down is from a freelance career and it's unlockable item, but you can still use it if you download the house. And the desk I used was the one from the Dream Home Decorator pack. I really like that desk because it already comes with a bunch of clutter like pencil holders that look built in, and I think that would be really handy in real life just so you can organize your desk and it doesn't get very messy. And I reuse that lamp again that I used downstairs but in a different swatch. It's hard for me not to use that lamp because all the other ones in base game are pretty clunky in my opinion, and I just want my lamps to be subtle so they fit in nicely over like a desk or a chair. And finally, moving on the outside, I wanted a big area around the front where your Sims could socialize when guests were over and stuff. So I put down the fence from Eco Lifestyle and sort of tried to make an enclosed area. And I was originally going to use the big sectional from the Dream Home Decorator, as you can see here, but I did end up swapping it out for some base game ones, and I thought they were quite comparable with the new couches we got. In terms of like outdoor activities, we have a bar stool there, and I do include a karaoke machine which came with the City Living pack, so I thought it was only fitting that I use it in this build. And the speaker I placed down in the corner is actually from a debug menu, so I don't know that it's functional. And here I'm just finishing up the exterior with those paneling. And since this build doesn't have landscaping, I think the exterior looks quite sparse, but I thought it was quite realistic, so I just kept it that way. I think we should be heading into screenshots soon, so if you like this build, please like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye!